This is firework insurance. This is my friend Mike Stevens. Go with this, and we are recording.
All right, let's do it.
Mike's on.
Why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. And 40,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, the length of this football field, made of new metal alloys, some of which have not yet been invented, capable of standing heat and stresses, several times more than have ever been experienced, fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch, carrying all the equipment needed for propulsion, guidance, control, communication, food, and survival, on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at speeds of over...
Welcome to Esoteric D.o.g.e, episode 5. Episode 5 on July 3rd, 2021. Just gotta go right into Arlo and ask him the significance of 5th episode, July 3rd, 2021. Is that too many numbers for you, pal? I think you got this.
Today's adds up to the 15, so is number 6, 1 and 5. 1 is the beginning, starter, the pathfinder, the I guess the leader in the sense of creating things. Never the ones who always finish things, but usually the ones who start things. The 5 actually is communications and freedom, to express yourself, being able to communicate to others and being able to listen to others as well, because it's all part of communications. So that's definitely a thing there. 6, because of 1 and 5 is perfection and imperfection. So hopefully we'll have a great show and, make it better as we progress forward in, our adventures.
That's
and
right.
Hopefully our listeners are enjoying this adventure too, because we don't know where we're going. We're just in this spacecraft full of crazy nuts, and we're trying to get to that mothership in the sky.
That's right. That's right.
So we just don't. This is not spiritual advice. This is not financial advice, but we try to get there as much as possible. Help out.
It's a safe place. It's here to just raise the vibration with us. So thank you for joining us in the future. Thank y'all for being here with me to do this. I mean, it took a lot of faith and belief to get this far, and I have a ton of faith and belief left in the tank for sure. So
hey, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in
Nice
3 states. We're 3 different states recording this live together. I mean, that's
soon to be
power
2 countries. So that's going to be awesome as well. It's going to be really neat to keep this going.
The power we have in our hands is unlimited to our imagination. They're limited to our imagination. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
we can do just about anything today. And as much as our freedoms get interrupted here and there, we still have those outlets to venture out there and get the word out to people. Even if we get some kind of pushback later on for whatever reason, because people don't like hearing some of these things that are true and out there, and it just becomes taboo, and people they just kind of close their eyes and their ears and just speak instead, understanding and listening. They rather just speak. That instead of being see no evil, speak hear no evil, speak no evil. They see no evil or see evil, hear evil, and speak evil.
And they don't understand a lot of things, and that's unfortunate. But we're here to educate. We're here to commune. There's a lot of us that feel this way, and
Of course.
And so this is a safe spot for us to just talk about these things. And I'll go into it later because I got a lot to say tonight. About just opening up and being that this is that type of group. I'm going to share some more stuff upcoming, some astral dream state travels and things like that I feel like need to be talked about. They need to be shared, but I do get where you're coming from, is that a lot of people, whatever their beliefs are, they're stuck in that coma type of state that, they have very like-minded priorities, but they have a different way of getting there, and they're really going through the fog of things. The priorities have gotten them kind of fogged up about what really should be going on. But I digress. I wanted to say hi, Evie. We've got Dr. Evie in here today, tonight actually, 10 o'clock. Eastern Daylight Time. But Evie, how are you? Happy 4th of July. I know that you're going through
Yeah.
some stuff. That song I played was for you. The name of the band is Firework Insurance.
I thought you made that up.
No, that's literally it's my good friend Mike Stevens. He's an artist out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and something along the lines of what Arlo was talking about was running into kinks with publication thereafter, whether it be YouTube or any other platform. And so we're going to try and focus on independent artists that would be willing to get their songs played so that they get more exposure. And this is one of them. So it's a great way to do a favor for a friend and for all my new friends. Anybody that has stuff that they want to submit in the future after hearing the show, just hit us
Yes.
up in the DMs, right?
Yeah,
Slide into those
definitely
DMs.
hit us up on YouTube, DMs, reach out to us. Let us know if you guys have something we're, willing to listen to it, and we feel like it kind of matches in with the show's vibe. We'll go ahead and play it, and we'll definitely credit you, so you could definitely get some kind of credit in your name. We'll link your website or something, so definitely we move traffic your way as well. So you definitely could come over here, expose
Yeah.
your music to the world as much as we're trying to expose ourselves to the world, and get yourself known as we get ourselves known out there. And yeah, you're welcome to contact us as far as wanting to play your music through us.
I
Yeah,
love our
we'd love to go.
JFK intro.
Yeah,
It just so suits the entire platform and format. And
it does,
July
doesn't it?
3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I first heard it, like I was going
Mhm.
through stuff like here and there, and I was like, man, that's an awesome like song that needs to be used as much as possible. And I'm like, yo, wait, why don't we try this as our intro?
It's
And
wonderful.
I think it's awesome. Like, like I've always loved Kennedy's speeches. Like they were one of the
Yeah,
top notches. Like, fortunately the man wanted to do something good, and the bad just kind of said, hey, no, that's not happening. And that we know the end of the story there. So we don't have to go down that way.
can you imagine how aggressively different, and I mean aggressively different, not in a bad way, but like how incredibly different, I guess would be better, our world would be right now if he had never been assassinated, that he
Yeah.
carried on this longer legacy. And it wouldn't have just been go ahead and touch a couple feet on the moon and do this a couple times and then let's get bored with it and let's invent a really big fat airplane just to orbit the Earth with.
Yeah.
And we did that
Yeah.
for 30 years. Like we went so backwards after JFK died. I think it was like cathartic that we just were in awe
Well,
as a nation of people that like this could happen. And we fucking did it to ourselves.
Well, I mean,
So
it went the way that the people that wanted it to go. What what it was planned out the way it went. Sadly to say the least, but it was planned out for a reason. The same thing like everybody else that has come up with new adventures, like water, motors, engine that run on water.
yeah,
Um, you know, Sadly, those inventors were out there. They're no longer out there. If
yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah.
So
But
No, it's
it's
true.
all about history. I'll tell you one thing. They were running like the life of JFK, I think a couple of months ago. And when you go into the history of how we got elected, his father was a bootlegger,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
he did his dad was like underground, right? It was the
uh,
underground people that actually got JFK where he was, and then his
right.
brother prosecuted them, and then I mean the whole
He got
thing was
whacked.
just a circus.
He got whacked. Well, I mean, we can come out and say it doesn't matter
Well,
what
we know
department or whatever.
that.
He got whacked. That's
Well,
he.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you read their history, you follow the domino effects of the rise and the fall of JFK, and it's like
hmm
what were they thinking? What were they thinking? He got to where he was. How did he get to where he was? And why did his brother do what his brother did? None of it like made any sense. It's just like you just have to ask yourself that question. What the fuck happened?
Well, Evie, there's definitely one storyline out there that I'm aware of, and I can't remember the name of the movie or the book, but there's another that I have also read regarding certain star families that just are just constantly in higher profile positions in life, better privilege, whatever you want to call it, that they deal with their own stuff, but they have on a more public scale. Like think of the Royals or the Kennedys, that through a lot of achievements, however, whichever way you want to look at them as achievements, they also had a lot of dirt. And it seems like the same star family or soul family of beings come back into those positions, and they're just always around. Would you agree? Do you think that makes sense?
Definitely. The times may change, but the storylines never do. Okay?
Right.
History repeats itself. It's
100.
like the players change, right?
Right.
But the play keeps on going. But the names have been changed. That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's the game of life, but
Yeah.
what's the point? The point of life is to live in harmony and in peace with the planet.
Raise the vibration of Gaia.
And
Increase the
as we're
vibration.
talking about earlier, how the Gulf is burning right now.
Yeah.
I'm not watching the news, but what you guys are telling me, my God, Mother Earth is burning. What are we thinking? What are we doing? Goodness.
Yep.
No, none of it's
That
good.
that leak in the Gulf isn't great for anything going on right now,
Well, how are
especially
they going to
Hurricane
stop
Steve.
it?
They're trying to patch it up. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I mean, they have all these
You have to use
these things out there.
explosives. You have to use explosives and eliminate the oxygen.
Well,
Yeah.
I think what they need to do is be able to like go deeper on the pipeline and like close off the valve somewhere where they need to
Right.
like not
Well,
come up.
didn't that happen a few years ago with what was the name of that?
Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah,
Not Chevron, Enron. Was it Enron?
maybe.
Remember?
Enron was already closed.
Remember when that happened and they were trying to get the valve to close, whatnot? Is it
Yeah,
not the same thing, or what's
I'm not
different?
sure because I think in this case it might
Enron.
be natural gas. Like it might be natural gas versus like a pipeline, like oil pipeline. I'm not.
What does
Don't
that
get me.
mean?
Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. I would have to research more. But the page I was reading, it didn't state anything about. It just said gas, but it didn't specify whether it was natural gas or oil. You know.
While we're
So,
talking on the
I,
subject of that, how's the hurricane going over there? You told me what's going on.
well, I mean, there's something that's coming our way. I'm not sure exactly
Elsa.
what we're at. Yeah,
I'm the
Elsa.
big weather nerd. Let's take a look at Elsa here. Let me see.
I'm bringing it up as well. See where we're
I
at.
love my radar. Huge weather nerd.
Oh no,
Huge weather
the
nerd.
weather app is
I'm
the
a
most
big weather
important
nerd.
app. No,
So,
no, you have to have the weather. Listen, the weather is our life. Listen, with climate change, you have to have at least 2 weather apps downloaded on your phone. It could
Yeah.
save your
yeah.
life.
So right now, Elsa's in Haiti, and just skirting the southern point of Haiti, in between Haiti and Cuba, just in that little strait there, and
That's kind of close, isn't it?
moving kind of slow.
Yeah.
And it's not a massive storm. It's not huge. It doesn't have a lot of area to it, but
Yeah.
it would be, looks like the 6th of July. It should be right there, just off the coast of Western Florida, like it would be in the Fort Lauderdale side, but still
Oh boy.
offshore. And
It's on
then
the. It looks
should
like
be
a
right into Tampa just as I'm getting into town, so that should be fun.
yeah.
God.
It's a
Yeah,
celebration, bitches.
it really is going to be a fun driving into that shit on the 6th. But if I left, I mean, I could have this place packed in 2 hours. I could get into town on the 5th of July. I could actually do it.
That
It's an
that
8-hour
might be
drive.
a better strategy, Dave, because
I like night driving anyways. I mean, I can do it. If I get sleepy, I'll stop and get a hotel room for Truffle and I. But that's better than driving into it during the daytime when it's
you don't want
actually
to drive
imminent.
into.
Because it's
Yes.
going to be Fort Myers on the 6th, and that's
No.
not good.
No.
So
You
yeah,
need to,
and so we've just made our travel plans over the air. But yeah, that's our update.
Yeah, Tuesday definitely like the 6th. It looks like it's gonna be hitting that into that direction. Because
Yeah,
if it keeps going, I'm looking at CNN. I'm not sure where you're looking at, but CNN is projecting it to hit the west coast of Florida by at least Tuesday 8 a.m. and
yeah,
then continue up the coast and probably hit Wednesday morning, or actually it's going to be Wednesday in the middle of the morning. So definitely
yeah,
Tuesday night, you should be feeling the effects of the hurricane already.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
unless it's going super, super slow, but the smaller ones tend to move pretty quick. It depends. Because, if you're seeing the track between the dates,
It's between Fort Myers and Tampa is like less than an hour, so it
yeah,
will move by fast, which is good. But I'm gonna definitely try and kick butt through um, Monday, and like I pick it up at 10. I could have everything packed in 2 hours. I get on the road at 12 and say an hour of stopping time. Be in Tampa by 9 o'clock on the
yeah.
5th. That would be much better to be dug in somewhere. Yeah, yeah, I think
guess
we'll
where
do
I'm
that.
going to be in October.
Yeah, you'll be in Milan, or you just be leaving
Not
Milan, or
in
what?
October. In October, guess where I'm going to be in October?
No clue.
Alaska.
Florida.
You gonna
Oh
be in
yeah,
Florida? Nice,
I'm coming to
nice. Well, you'll
Florida.
have to come visit.
yeah. We gotta meet up somewhere.
Well,
Well,
Dojapalooza is where I'll be towards October. That's for sure.
we will.
Oh, that's right.
My fiance has a house in Florida.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
another clue. Listen, he's been in. He's a
house in
very
Florida. I'm writing it down.
he's a well-known artist in Florida. That's another clue. So
I'm gonna find this out. All right, folks that are listening to this episode and the previous episodes, we are trying to figure out and identify who Dr. Evie's significant other, fiance is, and we have some clues. So you'll have to listen to previous episodes in order to get those clues. And then we're just doing a friendly wager of Dogecoin. To get you in, and if just PM one of us, and we'll let you know. But yeah, I think this is a fun game, and I can't wait.
another clue.
So yeah, that's a nice clue. Well-known
Miami.
artist in
I'll
Florida.
give you a better clue. Miami.
Okay, well that's awesome. Arlo, you're on the beat. You can sniff some of this out. I'm sure.
What
Ask around. Yeah,
was that?
this is awesome, exciting. I'm excited. Very nice.
He presented me with a beautiful sketch of me today. By the way,
Nice.
I got a beautiful. Yeah, I'll see. Ask if I can share it. I have to get
Mhm.
permission first before I can. I'll on the next show. I'll see if I. Yeah, it's quite magnificent. Um,
That's awesome. Well, he sounds incredibly talented, and can't wait to meet him and have him on the show to do the big reveal. But that's when we'll do video. We'll do video for that one. That should be fun.
and he is Italian.
And he's Italian. That's great. All right. All right.
It's
I love
another
it. That's
clue.
awesome. That's great. All right. Well, so we were talking about how the hurricane's coming through. I'm worried about the apartment building with the hurricane, coming through that way and making it vulnerable. It's already pretty vulnerable. Didn't they stop doing rescue or search and rescue today? Really, it's recovery at this point. It's not even search and rescue.
It's recovery. Has it been a week
recovery.
now?
Yeah, I think it's been
it's not
beyond a
search
week,
and
isn't it?
rescue.
Yeah.
No
So
one's alive.
it's unfortunate.
No.
It's very unfortunate. These stories that are coming out about how, people were like, somebody said, "Hey, I just saw a crack in the building. We got to run now." That always blows my mind when, something imminent's about to happen and somebody gets just the slightest signal, just the slightest nod. I just think it's fascinating. Or more people would have died.
More
Definitely.
people have
Yeah.
perished. They just haven't found them. The
Yeah.
140 that are missing.
Oh, unfortunately, they're all gone. Yeah.
They're missing.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Correct.
They're missing, or they got a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, they're missing or they got a phone call. But yeah. So Arlo, that building though, with the hurricane coming, that's still, that's tenuous. Building not being stable, that sort of thing.
Didn't they say there was
Agreed.
another one somewhere that well, first of all, they're evacuating the other side. I mean, they better
Yeah.
have done that already.
Oh my gosh. I think that, yeah, I'd say that that's a done ski for me. I'm not moving back in there. I'm out. That's not happening.
Of course.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have to imagine that place is completely
Uninhabitable. They need to demolish, actually. They need to,
Yeah.
I think they're going to detonate the other half.
Is that's something I had heard too. I was kind of curious. Arlo, have you heard anything about that?
I don't, honestly, I haven't really kept up with it, but I think I did hear something of that sort.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, we were discussing in prep about, trying to get guests in, the more interesting, the better, but, just folks that want to come in and chat with us about, any type of, connections, spiritual gifts, thoughts, feelings. I mean, this is a mental health room too. I mean, this is a safe place to come and talk and just listen and share your thoughts and feelings. But we do talk a lot about the esoteric side of things and spirituality, and that's why we have this panel here. We all are like-minded, and we're all kind of waking up out of this thing. So we were talking about having my good friend on in perhaps a couple weeks, discuss sidereal chart reading with the 13 zodiac, which is something that I went through just 2 days ago. Actually, no, I'm sorry, yesterday. Had a really good healing session. It kind of puts like a map. It's kind of like a roadmap of sorts. It's really good of like getting yourself centered, and yeah, she'll explain more of it. We have her in a couple weeks, but I had a really good healing, and then I had a lot of like good affirming card pulls after that, and then I did a reading for a friend of mine today. Since I'm going out of town, I won't see that person for a while, so she was like, can you read my cards? I'm like, absolutely, my pleasure. So it's funny, Evie, I know that you and I had talked about this before, is that sometimes you pull a common card, when you're reading for somebody else, but you'll also pull a card for, yourself, that it's a message to you also, however you want to take it. I'm sure that occurs to you a lot.
Definitely. I had mentioned in our earlier shows that I personally own about 4 different tarot decks, and I found a tarot deck that I've had for 10 years, and it's called the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot cards. And I am studying it, and it is amazing.
Wow.
It is based on Leonardo da Vinci's work. They had found when they were renovating I think it was a castle, because Leonardo da Vinci died at a castle in France that he was
Hmm.
commissioned to work for a king. And when they were renovating this castle, they found a hidden room with Da Vinci's sketches and work. So this tarot deck is based on sketches and different writings that aren't very familiar to the public, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's an incredible deck, and I'm familiarizing myself with it. And it's got a soul code that you read, and it parallels the tarot deck. And so it's fascinating. And when I'm ready and prepared, I will get on that and do that in future shows. But we've got a lot of content and a lot of shows too. Really, it's going to be really exciting because as I'm learning, I will educate everybody else, and it's going to be an incredible journey.
Yes,
Yes.
it will. Yes, it will. Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. This is a definitely good place for growth, for ourselves, as well as anybody that comes through. I definitely want people to learn and grow here, have a good forum. That's what it's all about, is talking to one another. Um, I'm not going to get into it now, but it is something that I'll tease about, is that I do want to talk later about kind of my dream update, because it pertains to a lot of us. You know, some listeners might be reluctant to share, but you also know what's going on, and I want to touch on that later for sure. That there's definitely been some updates that I'd like to share, and also get Evie and Arlo your interpretations, and if we have anybody joining on later on, they can always send a message and build upon that. I've definitely had a bunch of interactions with folks lately that have done the same thing. So, glad to put the information out there, and then get feedback on it is very, very important, because we're all just waking up, I think, and a lot of us over time have been in these same places where they woke up, and they started doing their thing for Gaia, for the Earth, and then they passed on, and we all have that mission and journey to do. So everybody's got their own job.
Dream
Definitely.
dream recall is really important. I had a
Yeah,
real significant dream I'd like to share with you. I
yeah.
had it last night, and I function in the dream state. Okay.
Hmm.
When I say function, the dream state, I actually have the ability. I communicate in the dream state with my loved ones that have crossed over,
Hmm.
and I wa- I woke up, but I I had this dear friend. Her name was Therese Howard. I worked with her in Vegas for 12 years, and we opened up stores together in Vegas on the Strip.
Hmm.
And Therese and I were so close, and we always talked about the other side. And I always told her that I was going to take care of her when it was time, because she was like 15 years older than me, and I saw myself in her, and I loved you dearly. So last night, here's Therese. Therese passed away. It's been 2 years now. And here is Therese doing what we're doing. We're in the store in retail, and she's asking me to hold a shirt for her, and were going through, like, because we were in retail for the longest time together. And I woke up and I realized, and I'm like, oh my God, she's gone. But she came to me, and
Mm-hmm.
it was so heartfelt. And validate yourself, people, because listen, when you think you're communicating with your loved one in your dream state, take that word think out, because you are communicating with them in the
Yeah,
dream state, because
you
that
are
is
100%.
that is their way of letting you know that they're okay and they're just in another dimension. So when Therese and I were together, I woke up and it was a good cry. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I miss her terribly and I love her energy. But the fact that she came to me last night was really, it was a gem. It was a real gem. And
It's awesome. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's awesome when that
I love
happens.
her so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God.
But it
She,
happens to a lot of us, and there's all sorts of, like you said, function in the dream state. It's like, yeah, I'm highly functional and walking around. I am passing into different dimensions though, and it did take me some time to get used to actually walking around, like not just
act,
laying there
yeah,
paralyzed, but just functioning. And I go and do things. I fully function. It's amazing the stuff that I've done, and then the abilities that you also have as well. Is that um, you once you travel over, um, that was one astral projection, and then you get to that dimension where that's pretty much all you need to do. It's not like you have to hop in a car and drive 5 hours to some other point in time or in that dimension. You just go. You're just there, and it's amazing. The what I've been shown, and there are a lot of people out there that have come forward about it, and we'll get more of them in here so that they can share with us. But yeah, it's been an uncanny experience with the people that I have run into, especially the person I did a reading for tonight. Immediately said, "Oh yeah, they take me," and she's definitely in communication with the others. There's others that they're not humanoid. They've not currently been to Earth, but they're all here for us. We're being protected, and it used to be I thought that this was crazy to talk aloud about, but now it just feels so great, so right, that I just want to keep going. But definitely are a lot of us that are experiencing this right now, and we interact, and sometimes we don't interact. And something came to me today is that oftentimes when you see other people that you may not know in your dream state, they are in their own dream state in this particular area that we're brought to, and we're going through our own karma, we're going through our own lessons in this state. Sometimes it's not very pleasant, um, and sometimes it is. Some of the most pleasurable things are going on in this dream state, this thing that I've been sharing with a lot of other people. That they're like, "Yep, absolutely, yep, I'm doing the exact same thing," and it's amazing. So, um, but I do have interactions, Evie, with ancestrals. A lot of ancestrals come through, and that's the exact same type of confirmation I get, is that, they are just in another dimension. But now I am oftentimes in that same dimension with them. So they're not like up in God's waiting room after they die. They've definitely moved on, but they have the ability to reach out to us. And I think that that's important in the mission, is that a lot of people are coming back with this experience, and it's because we need our ancestral guides to help us through whatever mission that we have going on down here, which ultimately is raising the vibration for all. But yeah, it's been big, and it's been happening a lot, wouldn't you say?
You know, it's funny you said God's waiting room. Mrs. Hilton, I call her the facilitator. She's been bugging me to do a show called God's Waiting Room. And this is her concept. And she wants to talk to people that are elders that are famous. And she knows everybody that's famous in this entire planet. And she wants to interview them and ask them what their contribution was to the world, what they contributed to their life, and what they contributed and to. And she wants me, of course, to be part of the show. And she has an uncanny way and of talking to people and just wants to hear their stories. And she wants to call it God's Waiting Room. We wanted Shirley MacLaine, and because Shirley is all about what we're doing and everything. And so it's interesting that you said that. But I wanted to reiterate on the dream state. What's important is, and I remember when I was in the second grade, I started writing down my dreams. Dream recall is really important when you're trying to figure out why you're remembering your dreams, right? Because children, let me tell you, they have there's no filter, all right? And you best thing to do is to tell your children, even if you're an adult right now, it's never too late, all right? Start writing your dreams down, because when you get out of the alpha state and you're in coming out of your dream and you're waking up, you know, write down, have a piece of paper and a pen next to your bed, and as soon as you wake up, grab that pen and write down what you remember, because detail is really important. And when you find yourself going back to your dreams, that's why I'm writing my book, because I have 40 years of dream recall stories that I have chronicled, and I can't wait to share it with the world. And I'm just like fascinated myself, you know. It's very interesting because I was dreaming about I just didn't understand as a child why I was having dreams of my dead relatives, why these people were coming to me. I didn't understand. I woke up, I'm like, wait a minute, why am I awake? Why was so and so talking to me? Wait a minute, they're crossed over. I
It
learned at an
happens
early
though.
age.
Yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. I mean, I get intermittent communications with a number of my relatives, and some very prominent ones, and then some that I just would have never expected to have or want to communicate with me, whether it be in the dream state or not. So it happens, and it's there for a reason. These are all lessons. We're not alone, and we're all one. We're all source. So other versions of us and other versions of source are just trying to help us out as best they can. So we do
And
it too. We have the capability of doing it too, and projecting ourselves into somebody's life and helping them out. It's not that you just have to to be deceased in order to do this. It's definitely a real thing that, I'm certainly not there, but I know that others are, they're capable of helping while they're here. So it's definitely, it's fun. It's interesting to
do you have
to
a
have that
relative
sort of
in
gift.
England? Do you have
Say
any
again?
do you have any connections to England or in England?
I have my my grandfather was Welsh, uh, and then my grandmother was Irish, and like first generation Welsh and Irish.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I do. Why do you ask?
Because I'm getting energy from England. When you are speaking, I get images and numbers and vibrations from spirit. So when you
Hmm.
are talking to me, I'm getting it's like a silver thread, and I'm getting a connect with you with England. So with the vibration of your voice and the frequency that I'm getting, it's
Hmm.
England. Um, very strong actually.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah. Um, I've had a lot of English friends over the years, many
There's
many
a
years.
Guinevere, a very
Say,
strong. Write this down. Write this word down. Guinevere is coming through for you. Guinevere. And she's showing me on your mother's side. So anybody on your mother's female side, inquire about a Guinevere.
hmm. Okay.
Write it down.
Yeah. And I'm not entirely sure where my mother's side of the family's from. Probably also English. My
They're showing me,
mom's maiden name was Long, so
they're
um,
showing England.
I'm sorry.
They're showing me England. I'm
Nice.
answering your question.
Okay. All right. I like where this is going.
I'm a weirdo.
That's
That's
great.
what I do.
No, I love it. I love it.
What it is. I'm showing a place that are also. I'm seeing a waterfall. So it is. Listen to me. I know nothing about England. Let's get the facts straight here, okay? So, but there is. I'm being shown a waterfall, and that's what they're looking at. So that's a connect on the female side on your mother or grandmother's side is what they're showing me. So
Well,
just write that down.
what's interesting, Evie, is that I pulled the waterfall card from my Akashic deck probably 2 days ago for myself.
Oh, really?
Um,
There you go.
yeah, yeah.
And you never told
Um,
me that.
let's see. That was Thursday, maybe. Yeah, and I was coming out of a funk, kind of just I've got this battle going on where I'm leaving this area that's been home to me for 8 years, and it's been also really toxic to me for 8 years.
Yeah.
So
Before you said toxic, toxic came. It's
yeah,
toxic. Yeah.
yeah. I definitely have that, and oof.
Cleansing.
But
Yeah.
when I pulled that card, it
Yes.
was definitely
Yes.
it was definitely reaffirming. So when you say that you're being shown a waterfall, that waterfall card jumped right into my head. So we're on the same path. So Guinevere from England, I'm gonna have to ask. I mean, that
Guinevere, write it down, and within the waterfall, within the area, there's a purple flower. Write that down. There's a
purple
significant.
flower.
Yeah. Um, I'm being showed. Um, I don't know. Is jasmine purple? I'm getting.
Yes.
Okay, so it's jasmine. Okay? If jasmine is purple, then that is what I'm being shown is jasmine. For whatever reason, whether it's a jasmine fragrance or a perfume, all right. The connect there is the waterfall, the purple flower, jasmine. Whether this female had worn this as a favorite fragrance, or I'm being shown a soap. Okay, she's telling me it's soap. Okay, whatever that means. Um, um. Oh, they made soap. Okay, she made jasmine scented soap. All right, that's what I'm getting. All right. So
Wow.
I don't know if they sold soap, but it was jasmine scented soap. Write that down.
Soap. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
Soap.
you know how people
Yeah.
make soap. I wish I
Yeah.
knew how to make soap, but yes, jasmine scented soap or whatever that means. Um, and then there's the number 4, and they're showing me 4 gold coins. I don't know what that means. Four
That
gold coins.
sounds like Four of Pentacles.
It sounds like 4 of Pentacles, of course.
Huh. I don't have my cards near me.
Excuse me? That's
I
what
don't
I
have my
pulled.
cards.
Actually, I pulled the 4 of Pentacles for you. But
Yeah.
for but the full 4 gold coins definitely is like domineering, which actually within your path and your journey is a
Hmm.
good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's also a sign that your path and your journey is the word is fruitful, or it's eventful in a very positive, cleansing way. Okay, so the waterfall is like it's like a soul cleansing. So you're on a positive path. All right,
Hmm. Wow, I'm blown
which is
away right now.
a good thing,
I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. I am blown away. That is so cool.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but you're saying mother's side, and I just can't think of anybody I would know. I mean, when you're talking
Well,
about these fragrances and stuff, I think of my grandma Peggy, that was on my dad's side. That was my dad's
okay,
mom.
okay,
But
okay.
and her name was Margaret. I don't know what her. I don't think she had a middle name. She's Margaret O'Neill. But yeah, English side and waterfall. The waterfall resonates with me for sure. That 4 gold coin sounds like pentacles to me. So
And then
um,
the purple flower, and then
yeah,
the scent is jasmine, which
jasmine soap.
is very predominant. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, it's something else, huh? All right.
That's
Um,
what it is.
wow, thank you for that. That's awesome. Just chills with love and light. That's really good. Um, whew, nice. And so that just shows up to you, right? I mean, I kind of get these feelings too. It's not as well honed as yours, obviously, but I'm just starting out. But that just pops in. You just have this feeling, right?
Well, what it is, I've been doing this for about 25 years. And the reason why I say Mrs. Hilton was facilitator is because I had been not, it's kind of like, not like a program, but I had been so uh, consistently, because I've worked exclusively for Mrs. Hilton for many, many years. And so it was like she was like a drill sergeant. It was like, and she calls me Eva. She goes, Eva, we've got to talk to so and so, so and so, so and so. So I was just like, it was so consistent and bringing it out. And I have learned to recognize the images that I receive while I'm talking to with the recipient. In this case, you are the recipient because
Yeah.
your voice is what is vibrating at this point in time between the two of us. So I have learned to recognize, to get the energy from, and I call it the divine source. That's why when I do what I do, I tell the recipient to ask specific questions, because when I answer the question, the source, it doesn't come from me. When I answer the question for you, I do not judge. I'm not the judge. I simply transmit the information from the recipient to what that which you need to get directed to.
Hmm.
So it just the answer just comes from the source, the divine. So it's it's something that I've learned to live with and recognize, and it's just what I do. I call it the doodles of spirit. Um, so
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I want to get there. And I
which,
think that,
which
after we take time and we learn, these things don't happen overnight. I know that I'm definitely on a fast track. If you'd asked me a year ago to read your tarot cards, I would laugh. Um, but yeah, it's definitely something that we have the ability, all of us. You just have to seek your higher self and just ask to learn the gifts. Go in with the intent of learning. That's the thing. If you're saying, hey, I want to be a genie, well, you're never going to be a genie. But
you know what?
if you
I
present
was
yourself
just
and say, I'm here to learn, you will.
listen, as you were saying, Jeannie,
Uh-huh.
I was just gonna tell you to write Jeannie down and Jeanette, and then you say Jeannie. Good. Write
Okay.
Jeannie and Jeanette. You're funny. I didn't want to
Jeanette.
interrupt you as you're talking, but
Wow, Jeanette.
you
Okay.
and Jeanette, write those down. Guinevere, Jeannie, and Jeanette. All right, because I get everything in threes, so
Yeah.
that is your triangle. Jeannie,
Yeah.
you say Jeannie. You're funny. Mike,
Oh,
you're cracking me up.
I can be. I can be. But yeah, it's funny. And
Jeanette,
I don't know. I might I might take a different route too, and I might hit the Jacksonville side of things and go see my grandma and my aunt and those family. And as much as I hate to, I'll just take the I-4 across after that and head to Tampa. I hate that drive, but I'd rather, I don't know. I don't know. But I'll definitely be in a area where I'll be able to talk to them more and ask some questions because I want to know about these people, Jeannie and Jeanette. And Guinevere sounds incredibly old. I know I'm being naive, but you just don't hear that name thrown around that much anymore, right?
no, 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 you don't.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, hey, here's what I want to do. I'm a 49-year-old man. I should probably take a lap, as they say, and then I've got to make sure that I've got flowers in the studio because I always like to have some flowers in the studio, and then make sure that my dog's not freaking out. And check the fireworks. So I want to start us off, Arlo, with another tune from my friend Mike with Firework Insurance. He luckily was messaging me in the background during all this, going, "Yes, yes, please use any of my music." So he's happy that I jumped the gun and went ahead and did it. But this is going to be a way that artists can get their music out, so we can try and do a couple features for people throughout, and then Arlo, if you want to play us another one after that, and
Right.
we'll be back after the second song. But good first hour, guys, and we'll come back. We'll talk more about the dream state, astral projections, and spiritual gifts. So we'll be right back. Esoteric Doge.
Like she always did in the giving in. That's her for you. She gave an inch, I took a marathon. I was strung out, she was strung along. She offered comfort, I offered her a con. That's me for ya. Stick with me, kid. Why? Let me walk. Feel a thing, pour me another shot. No, not on my watch. She was always nursing me to hell. She was always sharing her will. She hit all my pills and bells. That's this is where the story gets cleared. She packed her shit and disappeared. Should have been sad, but I chilled. Hey, that's me for ya. Stick with me, kid. Why? Let me watch. Dying alone tonight. I'd rather you tell. No, not on my crying. I can't say why. Kick rocks, leave me dying. Don't even try. I don't feel it in my. Don't feel it in my. Don't feel it in my spine. I feel it in my crotch.
That was awesome. Thank you for that one,
Totally.
Arlo. What was that called, Arlo?
That's the theme song to the Friday the 13th TV series they used to run in the 80s.
No shit.
Yeah, I used to
Oh my
be a
god.
big fan of it, and I always really liked that song, and it was always like this ethereal kind of like creepy, vibe of the 80s to it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really like it, and I really
Yeah, I
like the
liked
show.
it.
I want to see if I could actually catch the show somewhere that they're streaming it somewhere. I don't know. I gotta see if I could find it on YouTube. It was like
So what
it was a
was the premise of the show? Did Jason just kill a new person every week, or
no, it actually
never
had
saw it?
nothing to it had nothing to do with the series on the movies.
Okay.
It was a series called. It was actually, I think, originally done something, and it was either written in French or Spanish originally, and it
Uh-huh.
was just like something Friday the 13th, or Vinia, whatever it is in French, the
Mm-hmm.
13th. But then they changed
Mm-hmm.
it to this, and it was like, okay, so the premise was like there was an this grandpa from there was like these two kids, right? Like they were not kids. They were like, I guess I don't know, maybe in their 20s or early 20s, or maybe like mid 20s, early 30s, and
Mhm.
they were like kind of like one of them. The grandfather owned a shop that had like weird trinkets and stuff like that, and then they would go off like kind of on adventures and stuff and find different things. Like there was
Huh.
always some kind of story to it. It was kind of like I would maybe kind of consider it like X Files, but not really.
Yeah.
I
Huh.
mean, it's been so
Look
long, and I
into it.
used to watch it as a kid, so I could be, confusing the hell out of it because there was a lot of cool things going on back then. But definitely, it's something that I want to actually go back and watch because it ran for about 3 years apparently. But I don't, I don't recall too much of it. I did remember loving it as a kid. Like I remember that for sure.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. I have to go back that far then. Not that far, but you know what I mean.
yeah. It was. I
Um,
think it ran from 1987 to 1990.
okay. All right. All right. Yeah.
So
Huh. I don't really think I had a lot of control over the TV back then, and I don't know, all kinds of other stuff. I missed a lot of television, I guess. I don't know. I was
yeah.
keeping
I
myself
don't know. I used to
amused with
watch a
other
lot of
things.
television as a kid growing up, man. I used to, man, I've always stayed up late and I used to watch, like The Honeymooners were one of my favorite. I used to
Uh-huh.
watch that as a kid. I used to watch so much stuff. Like, I grew up learning a lot on TV, to be honest, because I would
Hmm.
always be around TV, like, since I was a kid. Because I grew up, going to school, coming back home to my grandma's apartment and like waiting till my mom picked me up and we went to our house and then by then we kind of be doing other stuff like cooking, eating, whatever, getting ready for bed, doing homework and stuff like that. So most of the time I spent watching TV during the daytimes and then sometimes in the evenings depending where I was. So
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
watch a lot of different things. I'm surprised I did, like, like being like you said, like not having control. But we definitely had I definitely had my own TV as a kid because my mom had bought me the Nintendo when I was like, young. So I
Hmm.
remember having a Nintendo when it first came out, or like at least a year or two, like into the first, batches of Nintendo. Actually, it was the same year, I think, something like that because I had some of the first games that came out, I think, at the time. So
Yeah. My high school friends had Super Mario Brothers, and we played that. I mean, we broke the game. We played it so much, I think that the cartridge overheated, and that was that.
yeah,
We
and
got that, and uh, I just bought Metallica's Master of Puppets, and they had a record player, so we'd play Super Mario Brothers while breaking in the new Master of Puppets, and that was pretty crazy times.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
remember playing Mario 1, 2, 3, Zelda 1 and 2.
yeah,
It was like all those things were amazing to me. It was like, wow, man,
yeah,
these things are awesome. I, I
yeah, they
don't I
definitely
don't
were.
I don't miss having to blow into the cartridge or into the system to get it to work. But even
The
what,
technology that we had back then was so advanced, right? It's like, oh, if
yeah,
you
I
just
know.
blow into it, it'll be fine. And then if you
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
get
yeah.
something
Like,
done, it's like
yeah,
up, down, A, B. Yeah. Uh,
don't mind us like blowing into it, it's getting some spit probably into it.
oh, just
Yeah.
spreading
And then
germs.
plugging
Yeah.
it right back into electricity.
Oh, yeah. Plug it right back in there. And oh man, my one friend would he'd get mad that he was like so close, like in whatever achievement he was about to unlock, he'd die, and it was like his last life, and he'd have to
Oh
start over,
man.
obviously. And he had this thing where like you sat right in front of the TV. You didn't sit in a gamer chair or anything like that. You got
No.
right up and close, like you're eyeball to eyeball with
Oh
the
yeah.
damn television. And he'd throw a fit and kick the television. And one time, and this
Oh
is
my
like an old RCA that his parents had donated to the Frog, the Finish Room Over Garage,
God.
and so like it's an old wooden cased television, looks like a hunk of furniture, honestly. And he would kick this television, and one time it finally just gave up. It exploded, like with us up there. It was, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, the old
I remember
school.
slamming a couple of times my controller or getting pissed off or being like, "Oh God damn it! Like I can't beat this.
Right,
What the hell?" You know. But then again, who didn't? And who doesn't forget originally playing the games and you bouncing around everywhere trying to play the game and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have to move that much. You know, you like as a kid, you like
right.
completely like bouncing around and like I would see kids later on like trying to play the game, but they were like so excited they would be like jumping around and moving their
Oh,
hands to
just
try to control
gyrating,
it.
absolutely gyrating.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure that a
'cause-
lot of us we cured scoliosis because of that, because we're just
yeah,
moving back and forth and getting our spines all out of whack, or back into whack. It's like
like God
our own
damn it, like
personal
trying to be yeah,
our own
you're like
personal chiropractors that we were playing these games. That was the only movement that much of us had. So I don't know,
yeah,
but yeah, good times. The '80s and
yeah,
'90s, which is
yeah.
funny. But yeah.
It's true,
So
man.
Edie, I'm still blown away about this. This channeling. Does this come easy to you that like if you were to just have a conversation with Arlo, that you'd bring Arlo's people through, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think I did Arlo already in the beginning, didn't
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned my mom's name on the on one of the last shows.
I? Yeah, yeah.
But you also mentioned
What's
two other
cool?
people that I wasn't sure, like but you know, it is what it is. I don't know, if I have any connections to the other people that you had mentioned. I believe you had mentioned my mom's name and Maria and somebody else. I can't remember at the time, but
It's fascinating.
Carmen
yeah,
talking to
Carmen.
you. There's a Carmen that's coming through. Who's Carmen?
my mom.
Okay, Carmen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she.
Wow.
Carmen. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're speaking, she's yelling out Carmen.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom, was Carmen as well as my first sister that died a long time ago. She passed away as she was born. The umbilical cord wrapped around her neck, strangled her, and she was born dead. She
Was
would
she
have
a
been
twin?
born. No, she would have been born a year possibly before me, like in 78 or 77, 78 probably. I was
Is there
born in
a
79.
twin? Is there a twin in your family?
Um, I have I think a cousin or somebody that far away, not distant, but I've always felt like I was a twin, like,
There's a
but
twin coming through in your energy. So,
it
um,
could be my chimera. I
who's
don't
that?
know. Like me, like being like two split personalities together.
That's a Gemini.
No, not like that. Like,
Well, but there's a
like because
twin.
sometimes I have two different, like I feel like sometimes I think about two different things, like pattern wise, and like
Yeah,
I'll answer my own self and stuff. I've always
yeah,
felt like something about a twin. Like
yeah,
honestly speaking, I've always felt something about a twin, but
yeah.
nobody. I don't think I've ever had a twin that I know
Well, there is a
of.
twin energy around you. So your suspicions, whether you are the twin or, but there's a twin energy around you, 1000%. Carmen is
Uh
actually screaming that and telling me that. So there's a twin energy
huh.
that she wants you to focus on for
Okay.
whatever that reason is.
Uh huh.
Um, so yeah, there's a twin factor, definitely. Um,
All right. No,
um,
yeah, I've honestly always felt that, there was somebody there other than myself, in a sense. I always felt like it was a girl, but I could be
again,
wrong.
a
I,
who?
I always felt like it was a girl, like,
What
a
does
female.
listen, Arlo? What does Nino mean? She's saying Nino. I don't
Oh
understand.
wow,
Boy,
Huh?
it
boy.
was a boy.
Okay, so I don't know what the word Nino means, but she is screaming Nino. I
Nino.
I don't know what that.
Son, it would be like son, Nino. I mean, Nino is like kid, like boy.
Oh, oh. Okay.
Because she's
I
saying
don't
it's
know
a
why
boy.
she's saying that to me.
Maybe because I'm saying it, I thought it was a girl.
Um. Well,
Uh,
okay. So, well, she's just saying Nino. I don't know if she always used to call you Nino, but the word is, it's just something that is just like she's throwing it at me, at you.
okay.
She's just going, oh, there was just a real big boom just now. Jesus Christ.
Um,
I don't know if you heard it. It just went
no,
boom. So, but again, three is, there's like Nino.
yeah.
Um, um,
So maybe she's communicating, telling me that it was a boy or something. I don't know if I was a twin, to be honest. I mean, that's to me that would be like I wouldn't be surprised if something happened and they did never told us, never told me. But I always have had that thing, and like I told you, I had twins give me like my new name, like per se. So that's always been a weird thing. And then also the split on my being what is it in my numerology wise. I mean the
right.
those different things in numerology, how I'm supposedly balanced as well. Like what is it? My names, every time I've changed them, it kind of always goes back to the one and one. Like my first name and my last name are both
Right.
one. As well as the November 20, which is my birthday, so it's like 11, and then 2, it's like a separate, like that.
Yes.
Also, there's also so many other little connections that like I always showing those twins. And oh, also my birthday, I have I'm on the cusp of revolution, so which is Scorpio and Sagittarius. So you got two different energy fields right there.
You're
Um,
Scorpio. You're Scorpio.
yeah, yeah. I'm a Scorpio Sagittarius. I'm
Uh,
I'm on the Scorpio side though.
um, Carmen is showing me a sunflower. Yellow. There's the dominant color yellow. It's like a golden yellow. She's being very picky. It's not like a lemon yellow. Okay,
Hmm.
it's like a golden yellow. Um, I don't know if she's showing me a field of sunflowers where she's at, but um, yeah, she's showing me the um, sunflowers. Is there a painting or a picture of a sunflower where you are, you're looking at, or where? I mean, what is the connect
No,
there? All right.
You have a
so,
Van
so,
Gogh. Tell me you have a Van Gogh. That's awesome.
no, I actually don't have anything. I don't have anything like that around me.
Oh, just
Maybe.
be a picture or a print, but even fabric, um, uh,
Not
or a
around.
blanket,
Definitely
or a blanket. She's showing. Okay, she's telling. Okay, I don't. What's the significance of a blanket? She's screaming blanket. I don't understand.
a
Okay,
sunflower blanket.
blanket. Yeah, that's a blanket.
Sunflower blanket.
I don't know if there's a
Could
sunflower on a blanket, but she's pointing. She's pointing to a blanket.
I know my mom. My mom loved sunflowers. Like like my grandma also.
Well, duh, Arlo. All
But I'm
right.
not. But I'm not sure that.
Sunflowers. Are
Uh,
you telling me?
I'm not
Okay,
sure. But yeah, I'm
work
not
with
sure.
me here.
I don't have anything on my end here that I have a sunflower. That's the thing.
Okay,
So
but
it's
she loved sunflowers. Are you telling me she
yeah,
loved sunflowers?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a validation for you. I'm
Yeah.
trying to
No.
connect you here. Okay, so
Okay.
all
No,
right,
I
all
understand.
right.
I
You
believe you
didn't.
wholeheartedly. Hey, listen, we're not here for
Yeah,
no reason.
this is great.
But I'm
Let me
glad
listen
that
to Dave.
she's
This
able.
is great. He's so funny. Yes.
You know, I'm absolutely, astounded by this. Like, I'm happy to be able to communicate, because I missed my mom. Like, she died when I was 18. I had to go through a lot in my life without her, and I
She's
lived.
showing me, yes. Listen to me. This is very real. What I
Yeah,
do is real. I give you validation that she's with you, okay? When I'm
yeah,
saying sunflowers and she's showing sunflowers, I know it takes you a second to kind of connect the dots. I'm just
yeah,
letting you know that she's telling me to let you know. You understand?
yeah, yeah. Of
I'm just
course.
your facilitator, all right? I'm just
No,
your messenger.
I
I'm
I
just
appreciate it.
validating to you. So just sunflowers, all right? So yes, but there's something to do with the blanket. You don't have to think about it right now, but I'm doing a doodles for you right now, so that doesn't this is going to be, this is recorded on my doodles of spirit, all right? So
Okay.
we're good here. So we'll come back to this. So she's pointing to a blanket. Um uh
Hmm.
she's pointing to a blanket. Um, I don't know why she's showing me a rocket. I don't know what that means. It's really out of the ordinary right now, but
Okay.
She knows about Dogecoin.
Hmm.
Ask.
so funny.
I'm not even being funny.
You're
Ask
so
Arlo's mom
funny.
about Dogecoin.
You're so funny. Those you're so funny. But there's definitely a positive note on the rocket. Let's just go to that. Do you have
All
any
right.
questions, Arlo? Do you have any
Yeah.
questions? Listen to
Is
me, that
is it
are not answered, that you want answered. What do you have any
um
questions that you need answered? Or you could think about it. We can talk about it later, but it's just something just to ease you, to ease your mind, to let you know that, you're she's with you. You understand me? All
yeah.
right?
I would like to know if she's all right. Like, I just, I want to make sure that she's wherever she's at, that she's happy and she's content
All right.
wherever she went after, after here.
Going through me, through you to you, the answer is yes. Of course,
Oh,
she's saying yes. Yes, and she's telling me she's always with you. And she's
okay.
pointing to angels. I don't know who's got all the angels. Okay. Somebody collects angel pins. All right. She's showing me the angel pins. But angel pins, whether you see them or collect them, but there's a,
It-
somebody is collecting a lot of angel pins, either for you or for her, but that's something she's showing me right now. Okay. uh,
okay.
I don't understand that either, but she's just
Yeah,
screaming that.
I'm not sure about that. Does she have anything else to say about the rocket?
Oh, she's just pointing to a rocket. The color is blue. I don't know why that is, but it's just a blue. She's just showing me a blue rocket. um Did you play with a rocket when you were younger, or was there a rocket that you
Hmm.
used to play with? It's something going back to when you were younger. You always used to play with a rocket. Is that true? Were you playing with rockets all the time? What's going on here? This is
Um,
You had a
I can
fascination
only
with
remember
rockets.
I can remember that I had a transformer. It wasn't blue. Actually, there was a blue transformer that turned to a plane, but it wasn't a rocket. But I think it
Well,
did go
that's pretty
into
close.
space. And
No,
then there was another transformer that did disappeared that I had that I really like. It was one of my favorites. That would turn to a plane, and it
that's
disappeared
close
like
enough.
something,
Right,
you know.
right.
I'm not sure if that's what she means, but
Yeah, that's
you
pretty
know,
close.
like I said, I've always been into the whole alien thing since I was very young, and my parents were always like, "Man, that's like kind of weird." And
That's right. Because of course, because when you were young, okay. So, oh, that's the connect. All right. Because
yeah,
remember in the very beginning, I think on our first show, I told you you're an ancient astronaut. All right.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right. So that's what she's showing
She
me.
did tell you that. I
I did
remember
tell
Yeah,
you
that.
that on the first show, remember?
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Carmen is pointing to the rocket. You understand?
yeah.
Okay, she's telling us this. I mean, this was what, 4 shows ago? What are we on? Four
Yeah.
show? Are we on the fourth
So
show?
again, we're in the
Fifth
fifth
show.
one.
So this is the fourth show. Okay, so
Fifth.
on
Fifth
the
show.
very first show,
Yeah,
remember you were telling me as a kid you always knew more than everybody else, and you didn't
yeah,
know why. All right,
yeah,
that's the rocket. Okay, she's pointing
yeah,
to the rocket. You understand? She's
yeah.
showing us. Of course, I'm getting
Yeah,
it. I'm
like
getting it.
confirmation.
There
Well,
you
there you go.
there.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I've always felt compelled to to them like since I was a kid, all my life, you
Of
know.
course.
I remember my dad one time jokingly saying like there was construction going on the road and he's like, "Oh, that must have been like, you know, where that UFO crashed into or whatever," kind of like jokingly telling me
Right,
something. And I was like, "Oh my God," I started like looking, you know, out the window like I really wanted to see this thing like, you know. Like
right,
it
exactly.
was like I want to like see if that's true or not, like, you know. I don't know
Right,
why. I've always has been like that. Everything
right.
in my life has always been connection to aliens or the
Of
to outer space and you know and
course.
the unknown. You know, that's why I'm so accepting of people. You know, and
Listen, yes,
I don't get upset like you know with stuff that happens like that. I'm like I kind of deflect and say what's going on that's causing you to be that way. You know.
who's Louise? She's showing me Louise or Luis. I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're talking.
You know?
Luis or Louise?
I
Uh,
I
okay,
don't
we're just
know.
down. I don't know. She's like, okay, Luis. She's saying Luis, like
Louis.
Luis. So I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a male. It sounds like Louise, but it's Luis. Louis,
Hmm.
like Lewis, like
Yeah.
Lewis.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Luis. No,
Luis
it's
is
Lu,
saying
Lu,
like Louis, but more of a Spanish tone to it.
yeah, Luis, like a Luis.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that, but she's just
Yeah.
screaming. I don't know if that is a male counterpart that she's with, or she's showing me whether it was her brother or an uncle. Um, but she is with a male that when she crossed, there was a male family member that helped her. She showed me that helped to cross over, and that's she is with whatever that means. I don't know, but that's what she's showing me. All right,
I don't know
all right.
Who
We'll leave it.
Louis is.
We'll leave it
Yeah.
at that. Yeah,
I could like figure it out maybe later, but
yeah, of course.
I doubt it. I
We'll
mean,
go
most of my family from that side have already gone to the other side, so
right.
you know, and I've never really kept up, you know, connections with most of the people from my mom's side. You know, it's sad that we lose a lot of connection. You know, I remember as a kid in the '80s, we used to gather around, go to
And
you know
we're
family members, everybody's you know houses. We were more connected then. You know,
yeah, I
and
know. And then all
after
of
a
a
while,
sudden,
things just kind of went out the door, and
it
that
changes when
connection.
people die. Let me tell you something. It's
Yeah,
like if you don't speak their name, you know,
yeah,
family members are so guilty of that. If you don't speak their name, you forget them. You have to
of
always
course.
speak their name. All
Yep.
right. You know,
No, I think of my mom and my grandma often. You know, like it
I'm
sucks
gonna
that
um I'm
you
gonna
know.
read something to you. All right. And
Okay.
I think it's important for everybody. Um I'm gonna read something to you. Hold on, I gotta get my glasses together. Give me a second here. And just to give you comfort and anybody else who's listening, if you've lost a loved one, and it goes like this. Death is nothing at all. It does not count. I have only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am I, and you are you. And the old life that we lived so fondly together is untouched and unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by the old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way, which you always used. Put no difference into your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed at the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without an effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. What is this death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you for an interval somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well. You know,
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
That was
it
amazing. That was awesome.
do you like that?
I loved
Yeah,
that.
definitely. I like it.
Yeah, that hit me. That was really, really good. Who wrote
Yeah,
that?
yeah, doesn't it? It really, there's just so much truth to that. Um, we
Who?
place limitations on ourselves. We put limitations on ones that have crossed over, and just because you're out of sight and out of mind, speak their name. You know what? You speak their name, they will come to you. It's simplicity at its best. There's nothing complicated about this. You know,
No,
it really
not at
is.
all.
We have a tendency to complicate our lives, but that's not the way it is. It's simplicity in its simplest form at its best. You
Hmm.
know, simple.
Absolutely. We're
Yeah.
we're here for a project for a brief time, and sometimes we come back to continue that project or get it right this time, whatever the case may be. We can also choose to go exist elsewhere, you know, into another dimension. But it's your duty as as a being to just carry it out however it's supposed to be carried out. Not voluntarily, of course, but do your best, raise the vibration, figure yourself out, which is why we have this place. We want to help people do that. But that who wrote that passage, Evie?
It's a passage that I've had framed in it's anonymous, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did a lot of their
But
work.
I have it framed. I could take a screenshot of it and post it.
Yeah, would you?
I
I'd
I,
love that.
I most certainly will.
Yeah, I'd love that for the room. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's fascinating. All of this is fascinating, and it's all very real. I mean, it's just it's so organic. Like you just can talk about this and bring it up, and here I am. I'm having the feeling before Arlo is even saying something of confirmation. It's like, yeah, that's his mom. Yeah, this is this. Like I felt it too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
universal. It's so great. Um,
yeah,
you
definitely.
can have that feeling, right? But yeah, super cool.
I'm,
Um, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say I'm kind of like glad that I get some confirmation here and there about the other side,
Yeah,
my past life and whatever I'm here for this time around. Um, for whatever mission I've set myself on per se, because we're all here on a mission that we set ourselves onto.
It's
exactly.
all
Um,
real. It's manifest.
yeah,
We are an intelligent species. We have the inevitability to manifest anything that which we desire. You see, we were a long time ago when they chopped up the Bible and they threw out many secrets. You know, that was one of the secrets. They just want you to hold you back.
yeah,
We hold a lot of power in our manifest.
it's true. To touch subject with that, I remember one day, I was watching, I think it was The Simpsons or one of those cartoons. They're for adults, and they were like, "Oh, if the Christianity hadn't happened, like and they said it was like the year 2012, and like it
Yes,
was more like the year 2001. No, like what is it,
yes,
2100 past that? it would look like more futuristic if we weren't
Yes.
being oppressed by, certain, entity or
Yes.
entities, over time.
Yes. We were held back. Yes.
Yeah, completely,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I think it goes back to the time of what is it? I forgot this thing right now. Babylon, sorry. So yeah, Babylon, the Tower of Babylon. So I believe because of that,
Yes.
they're trying to hold us back because even then, they say we were building a tower to space. I mean, I don't know how many buildings you could stack up on top of each other before we get to space like that, but I believe they were building more of a spaceport maybe,
That's
and
right.
they have figured out what the gods were doing and
That's
how they
right.
were doing it, and
Definitely.
the people were like, nope, that's not happening, and you know, mankind was kind of like put like on a stump right there where everybody's language changed and everything just kind of like changed from that point. Because, once we were at that point, everybody kind of knew the same languages because they were kind of remotely the same, just
Yes.
a little bit different. And, they were able to communicate and create this vast place that they were trying to reach the stars, literally, or
Exactly.
heaven.
Exactly. There were crystal formations on the pyramids that
Yeah,
disappeared that were communicators to
yeah.
our
I
to
believe that
spirit.
because it's some
Yes.
of the stuff I've learned from the pyramids, they actually have these little slits inside the walls, like as you go up in through the pyramids. I've never been there, and I would love to go there one day. But there was these little slits where you could kind of put like, let's say a torch or a candle like stick, but it was
Yes.
supposedly for crystals that would go in these little things and they would energize the entire
Yes. Yes.
place. And with
They
harmony,
generated
supposedly
it.
the crystals generated light from
They
them.
were generators. Crystals are generators, and they
Yeah,
used
Oh yeah.
crystals as generators in the pyramid at that time. They
yeah,
harnessed the crystallinity energy,
yeah,
and just something that will be rediscovered. And when I do my works on the crystalline connection that I do, which I have like I think I'm show 17 on Instagram. I read from a very complex book that gets to that point where the crystals are the energy conductors. And I actually have some metaphysical books that I'd like to share some future shows that actually
Yes.
explain how the crystals generated the pyramid. Yes,
yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that the crystals, along with the bedrock formation underneath it, which created the aquifer, created the energy field that they needed
yeah,
to power up whatever they were using it for. Whether in some cases they said they were, through the books of Zachariah Ascension, they were built literally creating a shield around the pyramids
yes,
because the gods went into war and
yes,
that they had craft that could like shoot down or whatever if that was the case, and they
it
were able
was.
to protect the city by a big
Yes.
giant shield being created by the pyramids.
Yes, as
Yep.
is above is below. You have to
Yeah.
go below the pyramid as is above. Below the
Hmm.
pyramid is actually a pyramid underneath the on top of the pyramid as you see on top of the ground. There is
Yeah,
a pyramid underneath the pyramid. Are you
yeah,
following me? As is
yeah,
above is below. So there is actually a pyramid structure below the surface of the pyramid. It doesn't stop at the pyramid. Everybody's,
yeah,
oh, pyramid, this pyramid. There you've got to go underground because it goes underground as
yeah.
well.
Well,
Because
that's
that's how the energy generated. It started from below and it went up.
Yep, it
Yeah.
was the aquifers that went through the bottom. In fact, there was these holes that were dug right in through the
Yes.
into the ground where
Yes.
when the light itself hit those tunnels
Yes.
the light would go in through the water. All right.
Yes.
So specifically the sun would hit these specific holes, right? That had the
Yes.
water went into the bottom. So as the light traveled through the water, it
Yes.
actually created the energy that
Yes.
needed to power up the thing. These
Yes.
people were geniuses, okay? These people
Oh
knew
Yes.
more than
yeah.
we do today,
Water
okay?
conducts electricity. The crystals
Vastly.
conduct
Yes,
water. Water is electricity. like
Yeah, and
ions
they
in the
needed
water.
they
Yeah,
knew that they needed the sunlight to hit the water
they
to create
harnessed it.
the energy through the aquifer.
Yes,
Like,
they
who the
harnessed
hell
it.
knew that? The other person that knew that was Tesla.
Yes,
Right.
That's when he built the
Nikola
Wardenclyffe
Tesla, yeah.
Tower. That's
yes,
when he built the Wardenclyffe Tower in New York. You know,
yes,
there was a bedrock out there in that region, and
yes,
they had to cap it. I mean, there's been people who have gone out there in multiple times to do little recordings here and there, investigating his work. I mean, but the Wardenclyffe Tower was condemned by
yes,
J.P. Morgan because he was like, "Oh, we can't charge people because of free energy." Yeah, that's not going to
yeah,
happen. He was
Yeah.
like,
no,
Yeah.
where do we tap in the meter? He's like, and Tesla was like, what do you mean we can't? It's wireless.
There's no meter. It's free to
Exactly.
all. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, imagine what Tesla would have done had he had most of his technology been public, and we kept it, we put it into, military use, and most of the technology could have, surpassed what we do today. Um,
We've spent more on war trying to quote unquote preserve ourselves than we have to edify ourselves with what we've got so that there would be no more war.
Man, we will be closer to society, a space-faring society already if it wasn't for the shackles of truth.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
would actually be commuting to the moon and back with
Yeah,
no reverence at all. We would be going back and forth. That's where we should be today, is with technology, the way that Tesla harnessed electricity.
yeah,
So, if and he also invented the light bulb, okay? He's the one that
yeah.
invented the light bulb, all right?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
and
So,
he also invented the radio, even though they were pushed it to Marconi.
of
They
course,
changed the thing later on, saying that yeah, Tesla had created the radio because originally they gave the credit to him, but they went later on were like, no, it actually was Tesla who was working on this type of technology prior.
yeah,
Even though, I mean, but think about this. Most technology, things that happen, there it's an idea in the mind of minds, right? Which is all of us put together.
Hmm.
Not everybody grabs that idea, but most people
exactly.
have that idea but don't
Select,
act on it, you
yes,
know?
yes.
So,
And
and it's only people who act on it and carry on that are able to achieve those goals, because if you act on it but then don't continue, where you going to lead,
you know
you
who's
know
doing that is Elon.
yeah,
Elon Musk, okay? What he is doing, he's harnessing everything that Tesla, he's continuing where Tesla left off. Okay?
yeah,
I swear Elon is Tesla reincarnated.
yep, that's why we need people like that. We need the
I like
government
that
system.
idea.
Elon is Tesla reincarnated.
I like that
Yes,
idea a lot.
yeah. Yeah, we definitely need, like, these governments to step back and just let it be. I mean, if it isn't for that, for all the control, whatever, there has to be some other higher thing, some other higher being that's out there telling them like, hey, you can't let them like take control. Like, we're the masters, but we're not here. But you're taking care of this planet for us right now until we get back.
I'm
You know?
manifesting Elon, and the universe speaks to me,
Yeah,
and it's already working. I can't reveal anything yet. Okay. It's part of the mystery of my fiance, but there's a connect. There's going to
yeah,
be another clue on the next show, but I'll throw something in right now. There's a connect that I'm already making the universal. It's called the UEN, the Universal Energy Network. Okay.
Okay.
Tesla. When I'm saying Elon, I'm thinking Tesla. Tesla. Elon has harnessed the Universal Energy Network, and tapping into that, I'm tapping into Elon, and whether he knows it or not, he's coming my way or I'm coming his way. It's already working. I'm not revealing anything yet, but it's called manifest. Manifest that which you desire,
Hmm.
and oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody was even yeah. I can't reveal anything else, but Dr. Evie manifests, and I'm manifesting Elon. It's happening. So
Yeah,
it's
do it.
crazy.
Get them on
I
here.
already told my fiance this, and there's a connect there, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's the craziest thing, but I'm not gonna give anything away until I go to Milan and we're gonna do the show, and then you all get it.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be
Oh
that'll
yeah,
be
it's gonna be
wonderful.
great. All right. Oh
That's
yeah,
gonna be fun.
that's gonna be
So,
great.
I figured that we can, we can wrap pretty soon.
Okay.
Just talk about upcoming. I did want to say that thanks for doing this July 4th weekend. I'm not sure what else everybody had going on, but this has definitely been fun. I'm at least gonna take a break this Wednesday, and this Saturday is pretty tentative. Just want to make sure that I have internet where I am, make sure all that stuff has transitioned over, and that I didn't get blown away by Hurricane Elsa, which I'm not going to manifest. That's definitely not going to happen. I love hurricanes; they're fun, but yeah, we'll probably take the next 2 shows off unless you guys want to do something impromptu, hang out in the Discord, do stuff. And thanks for everybody listening. We're definitely trying to find a better venue for being able to play what we want to play, and also not have to charge or do anything crazy like that. This is a free and open space. We want it that way. But yeah, we'll definitely have this episode up. This one's a YouTube friendly one, I think.
Oh
I'm not gonna,
woohoo! Yay!
So I don't think that we're in any copyright struggles or anything like that at this point. But what a fun show. And
It was great.
I want to try and get the crystal thing aligned with you, because Esoteric Erica that made me this beautiful crystal bracelet, and I don't have my glasses near me to be able to read what the text that she sent explaining all these stones, but man, it was powerful. And I want to get her on and talk with you, Evie, about more crystal stuff, because
Wonderful.
definitely want to have that going on, because it's just now becoming clear and important to me, because these are the first crystals like on my body. I've got some stones here that are okay, but they're more Amazon style right out of the box. But these are genuine and beautiful, and yeah, I can feel the energy for sure.
Definitely.
In a
They're
good way.
protectors. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's all
it's
good.
powerful. It really
Hey, when
is.
we come back from the break, I'd like to say something about the twins. Something that just came up to mind, like
Tell me.
Well, and
Yeah,
then
for
I'll say
sure.
now before we go, if you like.
Yeah.
So I I don't know. I was getting like I was remembering something like I used to get a lot of people telling me, "Hey, I thought that recognized me from somewhere." They were saying, "Oh, I know somebody who looks like you somewhere." And like
Wow.
that's weird. Like, I was like, I always get that a lot, like I was a
Really?
twin from people. Like people always be like, "Man, I know you from somewhere," like
Yeah,
from
right.
this and like. And I thought it was you, like this. I'm like, no, man, I don't know. It's weird. I'm like, are
Right.
you sure you have a twin? I'm like, I don't know, man, but I always felt like I had a twin.
Exactly.
But I don't know
That is
what like,
awesome.
I don't know what would have happened that I would not know anything about this twin if that was a twin. The reason I said a chimera, right? Because I don't know you have it. Sometimes the body absorbs your twin,
Uh-huh.
and um, there's a part of your body that it's actually can actually be identified as your twin, because there's parts of their body that are part of your body, even though it looks like your body, it's actually their part of theirs. And sometimes one baby can absorb their twin into their body
Yeah, I've
and
heard of
be
that
Yes.
too.
instead of being a conjoined twin, it's like the energy of the other baby took place, was created, but
Yeah.
then it
Yeah.
was absorbed into the other like baby. And
Yes.
Yep.
in some essence, if you take a skin sample from one part of the body versus the other part, there are two different cells.
Yes.
So the reason I said that, like, because okay, so when I sweat a lot, like I split down the center of my face where one side will be sweating and the other side does not sweat at all. and I have
Huh.
what some people would say I have two different color eyes, but one of them is like they're both hazel. All right, one's more looks more green. The other one, there's spots like around one side of the bottom looks like a kind of like a slight crescent moon on the bottom where it's green. The rest of it is darker brown. So I always had that weird thing, and then sometimes when I think about things like, let's say I'll make a joke, and then I go back and answer my own joke in a sense, like So I always think like two different ways, So
That's
I
your
like
true
always.
factor. Yeah, yeah. Funny, I
So to
picked
me,
up on that, isn't it?
yeah. So to me, it's kind of
Yeah.
like been something like that, and then people always like, "Oh, you have two faces," like like not literally, but like now I'm not a two face, but I have two faces.
Right,
So
right.
in a sense, because you can
I
see
have the
both,
exact same thing, Arlo. I have the exact same thing. I have two
and
distinctly different faces. And what's funny
yeah,
is
me
that
too.
my astrologer and colleague were venturing on something together regarding tarot and mental health and her sidereal chart readings and mental health. But she's known me for 30 years at least,
Mhm.
and she's she knows about that I have two different profiles, like one side of my face versus the other, and it's not grotesque or anything like that, but it's
Yeah,
definitely like it's not even misaligned. Like I don't have misshapen eyes or anything like that, or nostrils. Everything's
yeah,
fine, folks. But at the same time, there's just a different frontal like portrait that if you were to look at either one of my profiles, it would just seem a little off. And so I've had that two-faced thing happen or be said of me, just like you said. So
Can I
um,
tell you I have the same thing?
do you?
oh wow,
That's awesome. It's
I
awesome.
always have. It's like I like one side of my face better than the other.
yeah,
Well,
that's
people always say get my good side, but this is
I
yeah,
different
have
where
a
it's
good
like,
side. I hate my
right.
other side.
that's funny. You
That's
know,
funny.
I always thought because like okay, so my numerology, it's funny. Like I found out during reading numerology and stuff that the numbers 29, 30, and 31 as path numbers had like a weird correlation with the eyes. Where they kind of had an abnormality about them. They were either two different colors, or there was like one was a little bit lighter than the other, or there was some kind of pigmentation or something different in them.
Right.
So they kind of gave that number. So I wonder, like, if every other number had a part of the body that it kind of
Interesting.
referenced itself to, like if it aligned itself to certain parts
It
of the body.
aligns. Yeah,
But
aligning
like, but
the body
the
part.
reason, it kind of resembled because I started looking up like who has different color eyes, and I started doing their numerology here and there and there and there and there,
Right.
and like then I noticed that like there was the numbers, 29s, 30s, and 31s, and it was happened to be that both my mom and my dad happened to be 31 by path numbers.
Right. Right.
Maybe
Oh,
that's correlated to me being a 30 and then also splitting up my face where I only sweat on one side of the face and not the other. And I
Which is
turn
true.
red and I won't tan on the one side that well, you know? And I
Yeah.
think it's because the salt, the water, the salts, the sweat that comes out, the salt in the water that
yeah.
comes through your pores is what really causes you to sweat. I mean, to catch a tan because of the iodine and
Yes.
the the water being that it creates little microscopic magnifiers that create the burning of your skin, which creates a tan.
Yes.
So I believe that that's always been a thing because I always looked at myself after being out in the sun, and I'm like, man, I'm like like darker on the one side, like tanned, versus the other side, and I'm always like, well, that's weird.
Right.
So, and then I'm like, well, it could be because of the water. There's no water on there on the one side to create that the reflection of light, creating more cells to get bombarded with photons. as well as the salt content coming out, creating the iodine that helps it do that.
That's interesting. Good point. Good
Yeah,
analogy and analysis on your part.
yeah, yes,
Definitely. Definitely.
yes. So, I mean, one time one of the doctors that I saw a couple of years back, it was my dad. He worked with my dad. My dad's he takes patients to clinic. He drives a van and stuff. So I went over there one time. I had a nasal infection, and we were talking. I told him about my story about the two color eyes and the whole thing. That I don't sweat on the one side. And I told him, oh yeah, when it's hot, very hot outside, like I actually swipe the sweat from my one side, from the right side to the left side to cool down the other side because it doesn't cool off like normally you're supposed to. you know. So he just started laughing. He's like, "Yeah, I've heard of people, but I've never met anybody being like that, like having like those different things." And then always somebody goes, "Oh, do you have like neurological like disorder or not, or you know, something to do with
Mhm.
neurological like damage or something like that?" You know,
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, I've always been like that. I've always had that thing. I was born with the two different color eyes like that, or at least they look like they're two different colors, but until you really examine them, you really don't pay attention. If I'm in the dark and you're not paying attention, you think I have brown eyes. But then if you're in the daylight, there's certain days that my eye would be a lot brighter that people were like, man, your eye is really green today. In fact, I remember one day
Wow.
I got mad out of the blues and I just smashed the wall. Like I hit it and I didn't break the wall. I hit the wall like when my from my fist just kind of like out into the wall. I was standing up against the wall and I just banged it.
Mhm.
And my friends looked at my eye. They're like, "Wow, like what the hell happened to your eye? Like it looked like really green." They said, it wasn't like it was glowing green, but it just looked more predominantly green that night. You know,
It changed
and I was like,
your mood.
and it was funny that I was like, I wasn't even mad. I I I wasn't anything. It was just like an energy burst came through me, and I just needed to like smack the wall. And it wasn't like I punched the wall. I just like kind of like punched like I hit it from the side of my arm. So it was like a weird reaction.
Kind of like the
And
whole.
yeah, like how he punches when he punches
Yeah.
what is it damn Thor.
The
He's like
big movie
they're
one.
standing next to each other and he just like kind of like punches Thor and Thor goes flying out the side scene of the movie. It's kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know? It was like probably like a
Don't mess with the
photon
Hulk.
energy that just came through me and I was just like,
Right.
and then they
Don't
were
mess with the Hulk.
yeah. Maybe. All right, now we could go to commercial. I just wanted to get that out because I thought it was interesting. Um,
Interesting. Good point.
yeah,
Don't mess with the Hulk.
yeah, definitely.
And green is
Um,
your favorite color.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Green
he
is
had the
your
whole
favorite color.
radiation thing going and stuff like that.
Green is your favorite color.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, Dave, you
That's
still there?
where
Like,
did
Fuck, I hate when I do that. I've been talking for a little bit.
he's so funny.
Yeah, so well, I'm glad you guys kept things up. But yeah, we'll take a little lap. I did want to say that, yeah, Arlo is a very handsome fella, and he's also the man in show business. Great to have him as a friend. Definitely appreciate him. But yeah, it's crazy. We're all a bunch of two-facers, but it's so weird. It has such a terrible connotation, but yeah. So we're gonna just take a quick lap around. Evie, I know you didn't want to go too late, and I definitely don't want to go too late either because I have some hurricane prep and packing to continue to do. So we'll
Yeah.
come back from the break and we'll talk about a few more upcoming topics and stuff like that. But we're gonna do one of my favorites, introspecting car seat headrests with drunk drivers, killer whales. We'll see in a little bit.
yep.
In the backseat of my heart, my love tells me I'm a mess. I couldn't get the car
start. I left my keys somewhere in the mess. It comes and goes in plateaus. 1 month later, I'm a fucking pro. My parents would be proud. Or fall asleep on the floor. Forget what happened in the morning. There are notes in your handwriting, but you can't make it out. We are not a proud race. It's not a race at all. We're just trying. I'm only trying to get home. Drunk drivers, drunk drivers. This is not a good thing. I don't mean to rationalize or try and explain it away. It's not okay. Drunk drivers, drunk drivers. It's too late to articulate it. That empty feeling. You share the same fate as the people you hate. You put yourself up against others' feelings, and it left you feeling empty as a car coasting downhill. I had become such a negative person. It was all just an act. It was all so easily stripped away. But if we learn how to live like this, maybe we can learn how to start again. Like a child who's never done wrong, who hasn't taken that first step. We are not a proud race. It's not a race at all. We're just trying. I'm only trying to get home. Drunk drivers, drunk drivers. Put it out of your mind. Perish the thought. There's no comfort in responsibility. Drunk drivers, drunk drivers. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Killer whales, killer whales. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Killer whales, killer whales. Use that voice in your head, giving you shit again. But you know he loves you, and he doesn't mean to cause you pain. Please listen to him. It's not too late. Turn off the engine, get out of the car and start to walk. Drunk drivers, drunk drivers, drunk drivers, drunk drivers. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Killer whales, killer whales. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. Killer whales, killer whales.
All right. I suppose we're back. Sound like we're leading into something else. I don't know what happened. We can always
I
fix
guess
that
that's
in
the
post.
car.
Yeah. But yeah, that last song was Car Seat Headrest. It's a really good band. Definitely like to see them do a lot more, which they already have, which is cool. But
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so
It was a nice song.
what's that?
It was a nice song. I liked it.
Yeah,
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 I
it's
like
kind of
that
got like a
song.
duality, but it's like a self check. It's definitely his voice telling himself to listen up about some things. So I've found it's had a lot of meaning for me, um, just in my own path and the patterns that I've had. So that speaks to me, and music's great for that. I mean, it'll definitely give you a general message, but sometimes you catch one that really gives you a very, very, very like you've got people out there that are rooting for you and they have no idea who you are and you have no idea who they are, but they write songs for us. So a lot of messages come out through that. So a lot of different ways. So
Yep.
Arlo, how are you gonna outdo yourself in the meme world, man? Because you're getting a lot of appreciation out there, my friend, and
No,
I feel like
no.
we have to talk about it.
I'm still learning. I'm still like experimenting with things and trying new things all the time. The one some of I think the that one on the moon. I think I edited that in a couple of different things just to, I had to edit things in and out. I was actually going to redo that one, but
Mhm.
I was thinking about it, just leaving it alone. I don't want to like mess it up later on
I'll tell
after.
you what. I'll tell you what. When I paint, um, I have to step away from it and leave it alone, or else I'll go in there. And I did it to one.
Yeah.
I did it to a canvas that, man, I had such a great vision, and I had a stopping point, and I uh, just let it sit in the studio and just look at it every day, look at it every day. And I just didn't want to face it and do anything with it anymore. So I worked on another project, finished
Hmm.
that one up really quick, and even sold it really quick. And then was like, I suppose I'll work on you because you're just staring me in the face. And I
Yeah.
tried to work on it, and I tried to change a different color scheme or something like that. And
Mhm.
what you're doing is different. Mine's fairly indelible. So once it's there, and to go and cover something up or redo something is a big undertaking. And I tried to do it, and I completely fucked it up. So when you know that your process is done with a project, leave it and own it. Just say, yeah, I'm done with this one. So you know, if you take my advice. But man, your work is really, really good. I just have to say that honestly. Like, I, I, I really wish you'd post some of it here in the chat just so we can come back and look at it every now and then because it's really, really good and you're gaining a lot of ground. Definitely proud of you, my brother. Definitely, definitely. So, Evie, what's the fireworks report like on your end?
Say that again.
What's the fireworks report on your end? I mean, it's only Saturday night,
Oh
but
my God. Well, you know
technically it's the
what?
4th of July now. So,
Jesus Christ. They shot so many fireworks. I think they spent thousands of dollars on all these fireworks because they stopped. You know,
yeah.
there's a fine line to an end. And how much money can they spend on fireworks? I mean, it went off like it was the 4th of July already. I'm not really looking forward to tomorrow because if this is a precursor to what's going to be tomorrow, oh my God,
Mhm.
I better double dose of my dog's meds. He gets
Yeah.
thunder pills. I have to prepare him because while the show was going on, the finale, it was like a grand finale about 40 minutes ago. I don't know if the recording caught it, but oh my God, I I was beside myself, but it's over. Thank you, God.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme. It's getting more so.
I'm
It
over it.
really is. Yeah, it's crazy.
I,
Um, Now, I I am a bit of a history buff, and
Me too.
I a lot of people fail to remember or recall or were even told this. We just think about the Declaration of Independence. Yay, we Jefferson wrote this beautiful document, and then a bunch of people signed it, and then it went overseas, and got to the king, and this, that, and the other. I guess that they handed out copies to locals or whatever, but and then there were fireworks, and this is so imprecise, right? Didn't have that at all. It was more like the people that signed it, uh, backing this document, and saying we want to break away from British rule. Most of them died in poverty. Most of them were stripped of land and title. They had nothing to come back to. Once we finally did get things settled down in the late 1780s, it was still chaotic, and a lot of people were poor, and you know had nothing to go back to. I mean, everything was different. British left. It was definitely a trying time for all those people that said, "Yep, we're doing this." So it's not like, I mean, I'm sure some of them, the level of poverty is probably not that bad, but still, it's not like it was just a real big, celebration and stuff. It was like you're a trader now, and you're probably going to be on the run for a while. And often, a few of them did, in fact, die of poverty. So, just remember that side of 4th of July.
I have a crazy story.
Yeah, go.
Um,
What you got?
Last summer, was it the summer before last? I'm kind of in a rabbit hole here. I moved 100 containers from California, and there was a shed here in my house that I went through, and there was a box that was corroded. I'm like, man, I was going through all my paperwork, and something told me not to throw the box away. So I'm opening this box that kind of was moldy, kind of not. I'm like, I should just throw it, dump it in the garbage. But I'm methodical, and I'm a paper nut, and so I've got to go through all the papers before they throw it away. On the bottom of this box was a replica of the Declaration of Independence signed by John Hancock and Thomas Jefferson. And I looked it up online. It's not as if it was a replica of the documents that looked so real. It was on rice paper. I'm like, oh my God, I found this, I found that. But I looked it up on eBay, and it was like a 3-part. I guess it was in I think it was 1976, when all the 1776 quarters and everything that was 1776 and 1976 was like really big. So in
Bicentennial, yeah.
1976, they reissued replicas of the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, right?
Yeah.
And I have it. Yeah, I was fascinated. I thought I had something. It is special because
It's way cool.
it was
Yeah.
1976 was like how long ago? You know what I mean? So it's still like a substantial replica piece of paper, but it was kind of cool. So that was like my little story.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
That's really cool. Yeah,
Only happens
that's awesome.
to me. I almost threw it away. I'm like, I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn the box. We have a fire pit, and we're just burning everything. My neighbor's like, let's burn everything. I'm like, okay, well, I gotta check this box before I throw it in the fire pit. Thank God I did. I'm like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that really is.
I'll have to share it with you guys when I find it again. I buried it somewhere in my library.
Yeah, I'm going through that process where I'm finding a lot of stuff, and I've kind of I have this philosophy that if I haven't been looking for it in that period of time where it's like, oh wow,
Right.
has 2014 on it or something like that. If it has been that insignificant to me for the past 7 years, it's like, yeah, I probably won't need it. I don't need to take that with me. I've been going through a lot of that. And then there's the scene from the movie The Jerk where it's like, oh, I need this. I've got to have this. It's like,
Right.
bro, you haven't seen it in how long, and that you really want to have it? It's like,
I
fine. So
know.
it's hard to whittle things down, and I'm
It's
going through that
hard.
process right now. But
I know. I feel you. I know.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
you've got
But it's
what is
fun
it?
though. It's
8
like, oh
years.
yeah,
Yeah. I had to pack up 3 houses in California. I had 3
yeah,
furnished fucking houses, and it took me literally 10 years to go through 2 houses to get rid of the shit. And now I'm
yeah.
down to my house here with 100 containers I went through, and I've only got like 4 containers left. So I feel pretty goddamn good.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome. I
know.
can never have that much stuff. I always travel
Oh my
light, so
God.
yeah. That's always been a good personal trait of mine. Is that just travel light. I need. There's a lot more stuff that I need now. I mean, I've got 4 computers, 2 monitors. I've got this whole studio has to get packed up so I can get it all in the truck on Monday. So I can beat this storm. Getting kind of nervous about this storm. But yeah, with that being said, I think we should wrap, guys.
Let's wrap. Thank you.
Yeah, let's wrap it, and definitely want to thank you guys for making this show with me.
Thank
And
you.
I'm loving these memes. I'm glad that you posted the memes on there.
Yeah, and try to put a
Yeah,
few of those. Check them out. And I'm putting the
yeah,
transition before and after, like,
nice. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, so we'll be back in not this coming week, but the following Saturday. For those listening afterwards, we'll have this up on YouTube. A couple other places, maybe we're still figuring those things out, and we'll also be able to give you updates on Twitter about our upcoming guests, upcoming topics.
Wonderful Twitter Spaces. Yes.
Yeah,
Where
and you
we
might be
met.
able to catch us on some Twitter Spaces. Just
Yes.
it might create a few of those. Do some on the road updates. But yeah,
And
so
sincere Doge, definitely. Kudos.
yeah, definitely, and we can definitely do that on our own spaces. Arlo is really an excellent producer, so he might be able to help us out with that.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
yeah,
I have access to do that in case we want to go that venture. Just maybe one night a week or 2 nights a week, whatever.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. If we want to meet
Yeah.
up, we have time to meet up. We could open up spaces.
Absolutely, I think that should happen for sure.
Let's do
When
it.
we're out and about. I mean, we could open up a space while I'm traveling just to let you know what's going on. I'd
Let
love
us
that.
know.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But I'm gonna take us out with our last song, and this is one of those where it's like, no matter what kind of week you had or what you're about to face, you gotta shake it off. You gotta shake everything off of you so that you can get ready for the next step. I'm going through a portal. A lot of you are going through portals right now. You're making those changes. Don't be
That's
afraid.
right.
You're so protected. If you're listening to this, oh my gosh, you're touched and protected, and you're blessed and highly favored, as they say. But yeah, just hang in there and take advice from these guys here, LCD Soundsystem. Everybody have a wonderful night. Have a happy 4th, and have a very safe 4th of July.
Sending you a star. Quick catch it. Ciao.
Got it. Yeah.
Walking up to me, expecting, walking up to me, expecting.
happens every night. Present company excluded every time. Present company, the best that you can find. Talking like a jerk, except you are an actual jerk and living proof that sometimes friends are mean. Present company, expect it. Present company, just laugh it off. It's better than it seems. Present company, excluded in every way. Present company makes me want to stay. Go. Killing it with close inspection, killing it can only make it worse. It sort of makes it breed. Present company accepting presently, we all expect the worst. It works just like a need. Present company excluded in the night. Present company included in the fight.